Hello and welcome to another episode of Business Owner Spotlight. I am Teresa Strong-Myrick with Action Coach Tampa Bay, and I am here today with business owner Keisha Long Watson, the owner and operator of InSparkleMe. Keisha, how are you today?
I am doing amazing, and I'm so excited for the opportunity to be here today.
Wonderful. I'm so happy to have you here. So listen, I'm going to let you just tell us about yourself and what you do.
My name is Keisha Long Watson again, and I am the owner of InSparkleMe LLC, and I create unique handcrafted custom design clothing and accessories featuring designs made with the application of rhinestones.
Okay. How long have you been in business?
I have been in business for about 6 years now. November will make 6 years.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your journey from the time you started to now.
So I was working for a company in Tampa, Florida, and it was just something tugging at me. It was something else that I'm supposed to be doing. And also I was used to working for companies and moving up in the companies, but this particular company, there was nowhere to move up. So at that point, when I found out it was nowhere to move, I was praying and asking God to direct me on where, what I should be doing, because I always felt like it was something else I was supposed to be doing.
Gotcha. So how did that lead you to doing what you do now? Like, how did you make that transition? Did someone suggest that you do this sort of thing, or did you see someone doing what you're doing now?
So I have always had this entrepreneur bug. So I have actually opened up several businesses, but none of them were successful. I opened up a daycare. I opened up, I did a travel agency. I did several different businesses, transportation company, but it was not, they were not successful.
Gotcha. And what is it about what you're doing now that made it different from those things?
So the difference between those companies that I started and this one, I know for a fact that God gave me this vision, because I was praying and I asked God, I said, help me to find my vision, help me to find my purpose, because I knew working for that company, that was absolutely not my vision, not my purpose. It was just a pit stop. That's how I looked at it, looking at it now. But I was actually, that day that I prayed and I was asking God to help me find my business, help me find a business, or help me to find my purpose. I actually was listening to something like a podcast, inspirational podcast, and it was saying that if you have a vision for your life, write it down. So that night, when I left from work, I went to local drugstore. I think it was Walgreens, and I bought a journal. And I came back the next day in my cubicle and I wrote in my journal that I wanted to start my own business in 2016. Mind you, not knowing what the business was going to be. I had no idea because I had so many failed businesses. I just was probably just frustrated and not knowing what I wanted to do. So that was the difference between the business that I had then, the businesses that I started prior to this business.
Okay, that is pretty interesting. And it's something we strongly believe in here at Action Coach. And I've always believed in it personally, is once you write it down, then it becomes real. When it's still in your head, it's just circling around, it's still a dream. But when you write it down, it becomes a goal, something achievable that you can attain. And your mind, because you've written it down, starts to look for those opportunities. So how did you get to the InSparkleMe opportunity? How did that come about?
So the iPod, the thing that I was listening to, the podcast listening to, they were saying to write it down. So like I said, I went and got my journal and I wrote down that I want to stay I wanted to start a business in 2016. I prayed over it and I pushed it over my cubicle. And after that, I didn't think anything else of it. I was just still going to work, just doing my daily work duties, everything. Right. So I kind of forgot about it. And maybe about 3 months later, my husband and I were getting ready to go to dinner with some friends. And I was like, I need to find me a sparkly shirt or something to go with some jeans and some heels. It is absolutely crazy how this business was birthed. When I tell you, I had no idea. You would not have told me 6 years ago that I would have a t-shirt business. I know I'm a person, people always come to me for resources. They're always calling me about, what about this, Keisha? What about this? I know you know this person. I know you know. And so I thought my business and my purpose was to help people with resources. Right. That's what I kind of had in the back of my mind, but it was something totally, God had something totally different. And it was crazy because they were opening up t-shirt stores on every corner in St. Pete at the time that I'm like, a t-shirt company? And that's what you want me to do? That's what you want me to do. But I just started the quest looking for a shirt for that night. I'm like, I don't have any. I love bling. I said, I don't have anything that's sparkly. And I went online, went different places trying to see if I could find me a bling shirt. And there was none locally. So that is how the business was birthed.
That is beautiful. So you found you couldn't find what you were looking for. So you created it. I love it. That's absolutely beautiful. So tell me about your business now. What is going on with you now? And before that, so all of us experienced a tumultuous last couple of years. How did your business survive that? What things that, let me ask this question better. What changes have you had to make over the last couple of years?
I have had to pivot because my business started in 2016. Can I go back and give you a little history? So after I figured out I wanted to do this t-shirt business, the bling t-shirt business, I started researching the product, the materials I would need. I started researching how to start a business, and all of that, and all the equipment that I needed, all the software that I needed. So I did this, and I told no one about it. Because one thing that was different in my other businesses, when I came up with the business idea, I would tell people. And this idea that God gave me, I told no one except my husband and my mom. I told no one. And I was like working at night. When I got home, I was researching, I was getting all the prices, and I started taking money out of my check every week, putting aside, buying equipment and buying all the products I needed. And then after all of that, I started making shirts, but I still didn't tell anyone because I didn't know if someone would like this product. So sometimes I would be in the lunchroom and I would say, if someone was selling this, would you buy it? To random people for the company that I was working for. And they was like, yeah, who's selling it? And I said,
so you did a little market research.
So I created a little pamphlet with all my t-shirt designs, the prices and everything. And then I started passing it around in the company that I was working for. Before you know it, it was boom.
Wow.
Like, I know for a reason now, looking back, I had to go there in order to get this vision. For him to give me this vision, because one thing, I was running when I was at this company. It was like we had access to no internet. We couldn't even have our phones. They were very strict. That was another thing that I did not like about the company, because we were dealing with customers' information and they had a lot of theft prior.
Gotcha.
So it was very strict. We couldn't have the internet. We could not have a garbage can at our desk. We could not have a phone. And so I know for a fact that God sent me there because I had access to nothing. We had to put our phone in a phone cubby when we walked in the building.
Wow. So you're saying that kept you from, how was that useful in you starting your business?
I think God just wanted me to sit down and be still.
Ah, gotcha.
So I was just going. So he said, okay, I got a trick for you. You don't want to sit down? Let me help you. So there for 8 hours, I had no access to nothing. So only thing we could do is listen to podcasts. We can have our headphones, and I had my iPod. But other than that, we had no access to anything.
Okay, gotcha. So you were able to focus in on, other than your business, you didn't have the distractions that you normally would have. So the only thing you could do is listen to the podcast that you chose to listen to, things about building business and journaling and planning. So gotcha. Are those things that you use now?
Absolutely.
That's wonderful.
Absolutely.
Okay. So tell me where your business is now.
So my business now, I have 2 locations and I have my online store. So I'm at the St. Pete Pier and also at the West Shore Plaza in Tampa.
Awesome. Now that is built from you showing this to your the people at your job, and now it went from you doing this at home, right?
Yes.
And now you're in 2 retail locations.
Yes.
What did you have to change or pivot over the last 2 years?
So when COVID, so after my business started doing well at the company I was working for, God basically told me 6 months later, like, okay, I need you to leave. And I'm like, God, huh? Leave? These are my customers. I mean, they were buying so much from me till it was crazy. And then I sold more shirts in Tampa than I did in St. Pete because of that company. So when he said it's time for you to leave, I'm like, oh my gosh, these are my customers. How am I going to leave? How am I going to get more customers? And he basically was like, okay, I need you to leave. I need you to trust me. Don't trust this company. And you don't put your trust in these people at this company. I fought with it for a while. And when I tell you, when I was not listening to God, it was so hard for me. I was working 8 hours at my job, and then I was working probably 4 to 5 hours in my business at night. So sometimes I would not get to sleep till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I had to be up at 5.
Gotcha.
So it was so hard for me when I was not listening to him and listening to what he was telling me to do. And it's crazy. A young lady contacted me on Facebook. I didn't know her from a can of paint. She contacted me. She was like, can you meet with me? I would like you to do some shirts for, she has a youth group and they go over all over the world and sing. And she said, can you meet with me so I can give you some of my ideas and my vision and see what you think about what I'm trying to do? I said, absolutely. So I met with her at a Starbucks, and she was like, soon as we sat down, she was like, what are you afraid of?
Oh.
And I just started crying because I already knew. She did not know anything about me.
Right.
And I was just battling with, should I leave? Should I leave? And she was like, I don't know what you're afraid of. He's never left you. She did not know anything about me.
Oh gosh.
And I just started crying and we hugged, and I mean, and so
how long did it take for you to leave after that?
That next day I put in my 2 weeks notice.
Oh my goodness. So
And
you took the leap of faith.
Oh yeah, that was just her saying that to me. I know that was nobody but God.
Gotcha.
I know for a fact, because she knew nothing about me.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
So
awesome.
I knew.
Okay.
So I went in the next day and put in my 2 weeks notice. And I called my boss that morning when I was coming in. I was like, can I speak with you when I get in to the job? He was like, yes. He said, just come and we'll go to the conference room. And I was like, okay. So when I went in there, I told him, I said, my time is up here. And he said, I know. That's what he said to me.
Wow.
But I think I was a lie. I was because like I said, I loved my supervisor. I loved my coworkers and everything. So I felt, I don't want to say obligated, but we had a huge project. And so I did not want to leave him at that time. We had 2 people on FMLA. So I did not want to leave him in a time like that. That was another reason why I did not leave when God instructed me. And the kicker is that they just called us in the office and out of the blue and said that they were going to give us raises. And God was like, I still need you to leave.
Oh my goodness.
So,
so you left, you built your business. And I know that you did a lot of hard work to build your business to where it is now that you have the 2 locations. So tell me, what has been your biggest challenge? What's been your biggest challenge in having your own business?
The biggest challenge that I have had, well, right now, that I have had is hiring employees. It's really hard right now to find employees right now.
Right. And that's something I'm hearing often right now. And you know, there's so much that goes on before in your business before you actually get to the point of hiring. So it's about you creating the culture, knowing what you expect of folks. There's so much that goes into that. And it can be really difficult. You have to be really defined about what type of person you want to bring into your company and what kind of atmosphere you want to cultivate. So yeah, that can be extremely challenging. What is the biggest lesson you've learned?
The biggest lessons is that I have to constantly evolve and learning my clientele, learning my customers, listening to my customers. Those are the biggest lessons that I have learned. And I've learned also how to pivot, because when I finally decided to leave my job, I started doing vending events. So I started doing fashion shows, festivals, women's conferences. So I was doing that consistently for a couple of years. And then all of a sudden COVID hit and everything was stopped. All of a sudden everything was shut down. There was no festivals. I think I did the Strawberry Festival in Tampa, Florida that month. And that was the last event that I did. So I had to pivot and find other ways of making income, because that was my main source of income, was going to those events. And I had not put a lot of work into website and all of that. So it forced me to actually work on my website during the COVID. It forced me to get someone to hire someone to actually create a website.
So that you can sell from there.
Correct.
And that's something that you've maintained.
Yes.
Okay, so that's still a source of your income is doing that.
Yes.
Right. Okay. It's I asked the question because some of the things we were forced to implement during COVID were things that we probably should have done or could have done anyway that was going to bring us income, but it just kind of forced our hand. And now it's one of the best things that we could have ever done, right? Because that is one less thing you have to do now, and it's a good source for bringing in different customers. Okay, awesome. Jen, we're coming to the close of this. So before we end, I just wanted to know, is there anything that you have coming up that you want to share with our community? Any specials you're having, anything that might be, if not, that's fine.
Yes,
too.
there is 15% off to customers. 50% off will be starting next month, October.
You're saying 15 or 50?
15% off.
15% off.
Yes.
For the month of October.
Yes, for the month of October.
Okay, awesome. And what is your website? You can say it. I'm also going to type it in the description, but go ahead and give them your contact information.
It's InSparkleMe.com.
Okay, awesome. So it's InSparkle, INSPARKLE me.com.
Yes, and I'm InSparkleMe on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Okay, wonderful. Well, the last thing is, what keeps you inspired today?
My customers keep me inspired. Every time I deliver them a product and they love it, it inspires me to keep going. And also my family inspires me because I want to leave an inheritance to them. So absolutely, we have 4 children and we have 4 grandchildren. So I want to leave a legacy. I want to leave an inheritance to them. So that is what keeps me going.
Awesome. Thank you so much again, Keisha, for spending this time with us. And for you who are watching, all of her information will be in the description. Please reach out to her for all your bling wear. So if you have someone in your life who loves bling t-shirts, hats, purses, dresses, all of that, she's your girl. So y'all have a great day. Thank you for joining us. And we'll see you next time.